What's going on, everyone? It's Danica and I'm back again with another video, and you guys can tell by the title what we're going to do today. So before we do get into it, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And here we go. So I started with my natural hair in 4 braids, braided to the back. I do actually recommend you guys to do a sleek bun going towards the back. It's a little bit easier to work with, and then a little bit flatter as well. And so you're going to go ahead and take your Got to Be freeze blast spray it on your hairline there, and you definitely want to cut tabs on the side to let your ears breathe. This also allows for the cap to lay a little flatter to your head. And so when you go ahead and take your freeze blast spray, you want to directly apply it to the hairline area. It's not necessary for you to spray it all throughout the cap. It's just not needed. And definitely put more on the sides, because the sides are actually prone to lifting first through the process. And so I went ahead and applied my scarf around just to speed up the drying process, and it allowed the cap to lay a little flatter. And so when you take this off, it doesn't look as transparent as it did when it was wet, but it's still just fine, and you can go ahead and start cutting it at this point. Now when you do begin to cut it, you want to make sure that you're cutting the lace flawlessly off. And what I mean by that is, when you cut it near that hairline, you're going to see like pieces of white fabric that are going to show. You want to cut that white fabric off, because you want the cap to lay as seamless to your forehead as possible, because when you apply the makeup onto the cap, you'll be able to see the line of demarcation, and that's going to be a problem when you actually begin to lay the lace down. That's what I mean right there. Those little pieces right there that you can see that are white, you want to go ahead and cut those off, because those aren't good. And sometimes you'll have to lift a piece of the a piece of the cap up, because you want to line this cap up to where you plan on, where the end of your lace is going to lay. So that right there is not needed. So that's why it's getting cut off. Now you can, at this point, everything is flat and seamless. So I'm going to apply my makeup foundation. I don't recommend you doing a liquid one. I recommend you doing powder, because the liquid doesn't really spread on the cap as it needs to versus the powder. And so it should look like this. You want to apply it all over the cap, at least where that frontal area is, so it can look like a scalp. Just like that. Okay, bye, cute. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and take your wig, and I'm just lining it up, making sure that I did cut all necessary cap pieces off. And you want to take a eyebrow pencil, eyeliner, whatever you want to, that's going to be light against your skin. Line it up. That line is what you'll go ahead and follow with the glue. You'll apply the glue near that line, but you do not want to pass the line that you've created with your eyebrow or whatever pencil that you did use. I chose to apply in small dots. You don't want to you don't want to use too much glue, because the more glue you use, it's going to take longer for the glue to actually dry, and sometimes in that scenario it'll actually dry white, and that's what you don't want it to do. Also, ladies, the lace glue that I use is the Chic Bond lace glue. It's the premium invisible hold. Don't go getting the Got to Be glued, because that is like literally just gel. You know what I'm saying? You want to get an actual lace glue that will bind with the lace better than the got2b does, because that got2b stuff, it don't even last long, and you'll be having to reapply your frontal or closure within like 2 days. Real talk. So now that we got all of the glue dried, you want to make sure it's a transparent color before you dry it, and then you can go ahead and put down your lace. I started in the middle because I wanted to build a solid foundation of where I was going to apply my wig at. You want to make sure those flyaways are out of the way as well, because this glue, it does get messy, as you can see right there. I don't know how that happened, but the lace glue, it gets messy, so I do recommend that you have dry, clean hands before you start applying. And you also want to make sure all these flyaways are out of your way. Again, when you're applying, make sure you're applying a thin layer, and you want to make sure before you put the lace on that it dries to a clear color. And I just applied glue to one side and started on the other side. And by the time I'm done with this side, the other side should be ready to go. I just took the back of my rat tail comb to apply and help me move the glue around. I know people use like popsicle sticks, or I don't know, maybe even the end of a makeup brush, that works as well. But just make sure whatever it is that you do decide to use, that you stick with that, because it stays sticky after that. And so yeah, I just use the end of that just to help me lay the lace down. Don't use your fingers when you're doing it, because shut up. Don't use your fingers when you're laying your lace down to the glue, because when your fingers touch the glue and it's tacky, you're gonna like lift some of the glue up, and then that will cause the glue to dry white as well. And you can use, maybe a towel or a cotton ball swab to clean up the excess mess that's on your forehead, but like this right here, I accidentally got a little bit of cotton in the glue, so you just have to be careful that you don't do that. Luckily, I was able to get it out, so it wasn't that big of a deal, and it was only a little bit anyway. But still, the less you do and mess up, the less you gotta work with when everything is said and done. And ladies, when I cut the lace off and did that whole process, I may show you guys that part in another video. But I did have ear tabs in the beginning, but I ended up cutting them off because they were just irritating my ears, and I didn't want lace all around my ear like that. So a lot of people said that it helped their frontal stay down, but I had no problems. Also, when you're applying, make sure that when the glue is white, that it doesn't get on the lace, because that'll cause it to dry white as well. That's the main thing that happens with laying frontals, is that white glue. You gotta let the glue dry before you put the lace onto it. That's the best way you can avoid it. Make sure that there's no hair in the way. Don't go touching the glue with your fingers. Once you apply it with the end of whatever tool you're using onto the cap, don't touch it anymore. And this side actually dried a little bit better just because I waited longer for the glue to dry. And you can see that part's done, but I'm pretty much good. Just go ahead and lay that one down. Ladies, y'all got to learn how to do this by yourself, because if you want to be rocking a frontal every day, you're going to have to be reapplying your frontal at least once a week. So frontals, they're high maintenance. And me personally, I don't have time to do this every week. So yeah. Now in this video, I actually ended up tying my hairline down with a scarf. Many people have done that, but one time when I did reinstall my wig and I put the hair tie on, when I took it off, some of the glue had turned white already, and I think that's because I didn't allow it to air dry. So I do recommend that you just let it air dry. Once the lace is on, it's not going to come off as long as you're not like tugging at it super hard. Go ahead and let it dry for about 15 minutes before you decide to style it however it is that you are going to style it. And those are those ear flaps or sideburns, what do you call it? Those are those sideburns I told you I cut off because they were just annoying. And this was actually my second install. So obviously the first time I installed the hair, I was actually cutting the full lace off, and this is just me reapplying it. And so this is how I styled it. I didn't really do too much to the hair at all. Took my Eco Styler gel and my Shea Moisture conditioner, went ahead, mixed those two together, combed it throughout the hair. I did make sure the hair was detangled before I did all this. So yeah, the gel just actually controlled the frizziness, because without the gel throughout the day, the hair did get frizzy, and so I hated that. So it stayed in this like wet curly look all day as long as I put that gel in there. Sorry y'all, that's my dog crying like a little bitch. Okay, and here we are, looking cute. This hair is really easy to maintain, you guys. If you're looking for something with longevity, I do recommend this hair to you. So here we are. It's been dried. It's probably dried for like 30 minutes. I think I took a shower and I went and took a shower, and this is what it looks like. I just took my baby hairs out there, and I'm taking my Eco Styler gel and I'm gonna go ahead and swoop those on up. I actually recommend that you use mousse next time that you do your baby hairs, just because the mousse actually gave it more of a softer look and feel to the baby hairs. Now I'm not gonna lie, these baby hairs are tricky, at least if you ask me. They're not natural, first off, so they don't just do what the fuck they're supposed to do. You really gotta manipulate these hoes. So it took me a little bit of time to get them to my liking, and they still weren't as good as they could have been, but I'm tired, bitch. Obviously I had to take my glasses and my contacts off. It's time to go to sleep. So I don't got time to be trying to get these baby hairs right all night. It's time to go to sleep, motherfucker. And I should have left them like that, but They try to be perfect, knowing damn well, and they didn't even come out cute. So I should have just left them where the fuck that was at. So whenever you get them to your liking, however long that might take you, we're done. Okay. Excuse me. You see I'm tugging on it. It's completely dry. Lace is fucking melted. It looks good to me. So y'all let me know how y'all feel, what y'all think. Fucking with it or not. Had to get them eyebrows right one time. Sorry. And yeah, here we are. Now I did decide to part it that way just to show you guys what the frontal is actually looking like. It's laid, baby hair is laid, frontal is laid, and now it's time for me to go lay my ass down. So as far as me going to sleep, I just took my scarf again after I did my baby hairs. Tie my hair up like that. Make sure everything was tucked in. You guys actually can sew like a line in the back of your wig to hold it in place, but my wig fit perfectly. I didn't need to do any of that. I don't have a elastic band or anything like that, so it fit perfectly to my head, so I didn't need to do anything but to just put the wig on and go ahead and melt the lace. So yeah, here we are, you guys. I don't have much pictures for you, so I do apologize, but I have a video that I'll show you really quick. I just took some argan oil right here. The hairline was looking a little bit ashy, so I just took that argan oil spray and sprayed those down, removed any excess oil that might have been dripping, tied it up, and went to sleep. Well, I do thank you guys for watching. If you have made it this far in the video, let me know what you guys think. Comment, give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions, just let me know. Yeah, girl, and I hope that this video helped you. I hope you can actually go and do this at home, do it yourself, and get it done, girl. And if it does happen for you, let me know. Peace out, you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.